Hello everyone, we are Team 17, and today we are here to present how Carnival Corporation should respond to the impact of COVID-19. And the contents are first, we'll go over the company, and then talk about the impact of COVID-19, then comparison with other industries, and lastly the solutions.
So first, we would like to propose a brief overview of the company. So Carnival Corporation and PLC is an international company founded in 1972. It's also one of the largest cruise lines in terms of both the size of the business as well as its revenue. If you take a look at this overall statistics, you can see that the revenue from 2015 until 2020 is continuously increasing. It's showing growth, and as also cost and profit as well. They're both increasing. However, we can see from the annual report that the company is investing in making the company more cost efficient. So we can also expect that the cost will become more efficient as well. Now we'll take a look at the brands that are under the Carnival Corporation and PLC. So the first, Carnival Cruise Line owns 27 ships, and Princess Cruises own 19 ships. Holland America Line owns 14 ships. Seabourn Line owns 5 ships. Cunard Line owns 3 ships. Ida Cruises own 13 ships. Costa Cruises owns 17 ships. And P&O Cruises for UK owns 7 ships, and Australia owns 4 ships. The business model for the Carnival Corporation and PLC is relatively simple. It's primarily activities for their services is providing the most enjoyable cruise vacations to its customers. The cost mostly consists of building or buying, operating, powering, fueling, and parking ships, as well as facilities, employees, various goods and services provided to the passengers on board. The company yields its income from the ticket prices as well as alcohols and other various recreational accommodation provided on the ship.
The problems that Carnival Corporation is facing could be divided into 4 big reasons. First, the purchase of tickets is decreasing throughout the pandemic. People now fear to stay in a ship in the middle of the ocean with hundreds of other peoples around the world, which is the main reason cruise ship industry is sinking. Second is the government's regulations. The states and the federal governments are making limits and restrictions towards the ships. And accordingly, the ships can't start the trip from many states and countries. Third is the cost of anchoring ships. Even though the ship isn't moving or traveling, the corporation has to use money. They have to pay to have their ships anchored at the harbor. The last problem is related to the third one and is the upkeep expenses. Since cruise ships has rooms and furnitures and all those luxurious things inside, the upkeep expenses get very expensive. Even though no one is using the rooms, the company should continuously clean the rooms and the facilities.
We also made a research about the impact of COVID-19, which intensifies these problems. Current COVID-19 environment has created a high degree of concern among the maintenance of health and safety on board cruise ships. Ships will now require monitoring, implementation of sanitation practices with regular inspections, and increased medical staff and facilities. Most cruise ships around the world are temporarily withdrawn from service, but utilizing their engines to provide power to maintain onboard services, air conditioning, desalination, and propulsion is incurring the cost of maintenance even when not sailing. Moreover, especially of the case of Carnival Corporation, after at least 21 passengers tested positive for COVID-19 aboard Carnival's Grand Princess, the State Department urged the public to not travel by cruise ship. However, there are still some positive aspects. Based on a recent survey from CLIA, Cruise Lines International Association, 82% of cruisers are likely to book a cruise for their next vacation. Despite multiple outbreaks of COVID-19 and uncertainty over when sailing will reconvene, multiple reports say that there has been an increase in the booking for 2021 in comparison to 2019. This shows people are still looking forward to future travel on cruises. The negative aspects also exist. As you can see in this chart, cruise stocks are showing the huge decline. And as the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention made no sail order, the order continues to suspend passenger operations on cruise ships that have the capacity to carry at least 250 passengers.
Now we'll go through a brief look at COVID-19's SIR model. The SIR model is a model of susceptible, infected, and recovered groups. Going through a simple differential equation, we can do some modeling for each country's disease model. Our team chose 3 countries, the US, Korea, and China. As you can see from the graph, the US doesn't seem to recover in a few years. However, Korea and China seems to recover in a few years. Our team brought 3 main scenarios based on this SIR model. First is COVID-19 ending by 2020, which is the best case scenario. In this case, the Carnival Corporation can continue their business as usual in 2021, or maybe they could use our solution for the 4th quarter in 2020. Second is COVID-19 ending in 1 to 2 years, which is the expected scenario. Maybe as we found out through the SIR model, starting from Asia, the coronavirus will start to end, and the demand of cruise uses will increase. Third is the worst scenario, COVID-19 ending in more than 5 years. Maybe the company will have to do some pivoting for what they are currently doing, and they will need our solution.
Next, we made a comparison with companies inside the industry and out of the industry. First, we made a comparison with companies inside the cruise ship industry, which are the Norwegian and the Royal Caribbean. The Norwegian cruise line made an announcement to make suspension of all cruises until September, and could be longer according to the situation of COVID-19. Not only Norwegian, but also Royal Caribbean, which is another rival cruise line of Carnival, said they would suspend all cruises until September and are hoping to resume in October. However, there are some customers who already bought the tickets. The 2 companies are providing 2 options. The first is to give full refund, and the other option is to give future credits for the cruise. The Norwegian company is giving 100% future credit, but the Royal Caribbean is giving out 125% future credit. This means that the company is trying to prevent the buyers from getting full refund. And Carnival Corporation would have to give future credits or vouchers to prevent customers from getting full refund. Moving on to the comparison with companies outside the industry, we compared it with airlines. The airlines are giving out creative solutions in the pandemic. They are changing passenger jets into planes transporting cargo. The example will be the American Airlines and Korean Airlines. Korean Airlines actually earned a profit of $150 billion. More specifically, American Airlines are using Boeing 777-300 to transport up to 100,000 pounds per flight. And they're intending to increase the flight to 140 times a week. For Korean Air, 98 out of 124 passages are blocked. So they decided to use planes to ship cargo. For example, Korean Air transports emergency supplies and agricultural products from South Korea to Vietnam.
Now we would like to propose the possible solutions to the current situation. To rebound the current decreasing demand for cruise vacation and travel packages, we would like to propose a new travel package. Once suspension for traveling is lifted, one family travel package for ultra-luxury lines like Seabourn could be promoted for a safe travel. The travel package would emphasize that only one family will be accommodated at a time to prevent further contact between other people, such as other passengers and even crew members. The targeted customers are those that previously used the luxurious packages from Seabourn. This package will offer the customers a private and luxurious vacation while ensuring their safety.
And to talk about the alternatives, the cruise ship itself has two main functions. The first one is a function of a ship, and the other one is a function of a hotel. The biggest reason cruise lines are impacted more than hotels on land is because once passengers get on ships, they have to stay there with hundreds of other people for at least a couple of days. However, people using the hotel can freely exit the hotel and go to other places. The Japanese cruise ship was just in this situation and made people fear cruise ships. If one of the passengers is infected, the others have no possible way to get out of that situation because they're in the middle of the ocean. The point is that if we take out the function of a ship from the cruise ship and just use it as a hotel, people won't fear too much to use it. Cruise ships make revenue through two channels, ticket sales and onboard purchases. While the ticket sales, which is largely hit due to coronavirus, account for 62% of total revenue. Onboard purchases, such as alcoholic drinks, casino gamble, and art auctions, make up the remaining 38%. Therefore, it is possible for the cruise company to make up the money even if ticket sales decrease greatly through onboard purchases by modifying a cruise into a hotel. And to find out the revenue of the ships used as hotel, we searched a hotel that has similar capacity, which was the Shilla Hotel in South Korea. This chart here is the revenue chart of the annual report from the Shilla, and the highlighted number 75.7 billion Korean won is the revenue they have earned during the pandemic. This would be approximately $63 million in total.
Another alternative within the boundary of the hotel solution is a self-quarantine hotel. As of now, people are coming back to US from a different country or even traveling across different states require 2 weeks of self-quarantine. During this time, quarantining individual must be cautious to avoid contact with any other persons, even family members. Thus, it is often extremely inconvenient to self-quarantine even at individuals' homes. Thus, we propose that as an extension from the hotel services, the Carnival Corporation and PLC open self-quarantine hotel to recent travelers. Services include isolated rooms for individuals, room services to minimize contacts, and convenient pickups and drop-offs for additional charge. Currently existing quarantine hotels in Korea receive 70 to 80% of the original price. Applying this precedent pricing and considering that the demand for self-quarantine hotel is constant yet not equivalent to those of the normal hotels, we expected the revenue to be about 80% of the 1/3 of the hotel revenue, which is about $17 million.
Our last solution is benchmarking airlines. And we brought a case for Hanjin Group Korean Air CEO Walter Cho. He thought that if they actively respond to changes in cargo demand using the compartments of the airlines, they will be able to diversify their suppliers and reduce costs such as parking fees. This is a picture of airlines loading of passenger seats with cargo as they try to keep their aircraft full as possible. So as airlines, cruise lines can load the ship with cargo, but how about the furniture? Unlike airplanes with only seats, cruisers have beds, sofa, nightstands, and so on. So the company would have to vacate the room, then fill the room with their cargo. And our team expects that the cost of vacating the room will be recovered in one shipping. And now we will go over the profit. This is the quarterly sales analysis of Korean Air for their second and third and fourth quarter in this year. And based on Korean Air's profit, we approximately predicted Carnival Corporation's third and fourth quarter outputs. And for the third quarter outputs, it will be minus about $20 billion. But after this third quarter, in the fourth quarter, it will be approximately more than $15 billion.
And thank you for listening to our presentation.